The Evangelions. Combat units piloted by the Childs. Rei Yanami, Asuka Langley, Shinji Ikari, Toji Suzuhara, and Kaburo Nagisa. What are the Evangelions? Are they really mechas or something more? Why do they exist in this world? What are their ultimate purpose? Why are they supposed to be? Are they on our side? In this episode I will not only go over the basics of the EVA units, but also I will go deeper into the history behind the Evangelion units and unveil their hidden meaning behind their original design. These are the 4 Barons from Hell. The first time you see an EVA, you must think that it's a giant robot, a mecha. Those that are so common throughout anime history. Even if an Evangelion unit looks like a robot, it is nothing like that. An Evangelion unit is a semi-cybernetic organism with a special armor. The EVA units are clones from Adam, the first angel. That is the reason of their name. All of them except one, Unit 1, which comes from Lilith. If Adam was created first, then Eve or Eva comes from Adam. The difference between Lilith and Eve is that Lilith was created on the same way that Adam was, being his equal. According to Jewish mythology, Lilith refused to be subservient of Adam and left the Garden of Eden for never to return. Her fate is linked with Archangel Samael, the fallen angel, who is better known as Satan. The public reason of Eva's existence is simple: fight the angel. But Seal and Gendo Ikari had other plans for them. The Human Instrumentality Program. The special armor that they wear has different levels of efficiency. Throughout the series it is shown that the armor is not that strong against direct attacks from the angels. Sometimes it gets destroyed. However, the purpose of the armor is not only protective, but also a cage for the units. A way for Nerv and humankind to control and repress the humanoid that lives within. This is how a EVA unit looks without an armor. It shows that has nasal cavities, which allows them to breathe, and most living organisms they need oxygen to function and live. Their helmets also show very subtle nasal holes, confirming this theory. The units have eyes, as it was unveiled in Chapter 2 of the original run. Another major characteristic of the EVA unit is that they bleed. All of them have red blood, except for Unit 2, which blood is purple-blue. This is not the only distinction that Unit 2 has, it is also the only EVA unit that has grey skin and not brown. That can be explained by the fact that Unit 2 is the first finished Evangelion unit especially designed for combat, as Asuka explained in Chapter 8. Because EVA units are trapped and sleep within their cages, they need a power supply. At the early chapters of the original run, they need to be attached to an umbilical cable that supplies them with the power they need. They also have internal batteries that allows them autonomy in case the cable is detached or destroyed. These batteries have different charge depending on the mode. In the main series, there are different scenarios in which we are presented that in case of combat, the batteries last only 1 minute. For standby, they last 5 minutes, and up to 60 hours for minimal consumption, just enough to keep the pilot alive. That until we are introduced to the S2 engine, which is an organic battery. The source of this engine are the angels. Only mass production EVAs are known to have this engine made by men. Unit 4 was supposed to be the first one to carry the engine, but during an experiment while trying the engine in the second branch of Nerv in the US, resulted in a major explosion, destroying the facilities and the Unit 4 itself. Nevertheless, we have seen EVA Unit 1 acquire an S2 engine by eating Ceruel, the 14th angel. Even with the restriction of armor and power life, an EVA unit can go Berserk, a period of time in which the unit moves at will, without any control from humans, including the pilot. This notably happened when Unit 00 went Berserk, rejecting Rei Ayanami as a pilot during the first activation test, shown in Episode 5, and resulted in severe physical injuries for the pilot. Unit 1 goes also Berserk in different occasions throughout the series, although different than Unit 00, in which this case is more sentient, embracing the pilot's soul and reacting to protect it. This difference can be explained by the known theory that Rei has no soul, thus Unit 00 rejects her, while Unit 1 accepts Shinji's. Unit 2 also goes Berserk later on in the movie The End of Evangelion, which I will not get on this video. Unit 3, however, does not go Berserk exactly like the other units, even if appears in Episode 18. His action is motivated by Bardiel, the 13th angel. All EVA units, including the mass production ones, have an entry plug cabin, in which pilots are introduced and allows them to synchronize with the unit in order to control them. The interior of the cabin is filled with LCL, which is the catalyst between pilot and unit. Nerv has been testing with dummy plugs, which are an automatic pilot mode, used to trick the unit to believe that the pilot is commanding the EVA, while it's not. It's actually a computer. Now that we have basic understanding of what an Evangelion unit is and how it works, let's dig deeper and understand their design and symbolism. In early medieval times, Jews and Christians redefined and renamed all angels and demons. There were 4 in particular that stand out for the Evangelion saga: the Barons from Hell. And no, they are not the same as those more popular barons from the Doom franchise. The legend says that they were 4 barons: a baron without facial features and 1 giant eye, a baron with a giant horn and threatening teeth, a red blood baron with 4 eyes and 2 mouths, a black baron with long arms. If we go to the facts, we know the Evangelion series takes a lot from the Judeo-Christian symbolism for their story. We have seen that symbolism countless times with Adam, Lilith, the Tree of Life, and the Longinus Spear. But are Evangelions designed after the 4 barons from Hell? If we go to the source material, that is the Bible, we don't find anything related to the 4 barons of Hell. However, in the Book of Revelations, there is a description on the 4 conditions that affect mankind. These 4 conditions were popularized as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. But are the EVA units designed after the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? According to the Book of Revelations, there are going to be 4 horses. A white horse, the bringer of justice. A red horse, bringer of war. A black horse, that will bring famine. And a pale horse, the bringer of death. Even if the story of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse is interesting to say the least, they don't fit into the description, other than being 4, there's nothing else. Not even the colors, 2 of them being white and pale, even though the legend says that the original color for Unit 1 was white before being purple. Another theory says that the Barons from Hell comes from Dante's classic novel, Inferno. Inferno is the first part of the Divine Comedy, Dante's 14th century poem, which is considered as the preeminent work on Italian literature. In Inferno, Dante tells his experience through hell, in which he famously describes as there being 9 rings within the earth. Overall, Dante's masterpiece is the journey of the soul towards God, recognizing and rejecting sin. However, there is no mentioning or depiction of the Barons of Hell in his piece, Another Myth, Another Dead End. Our final theory comes from the Sumerian gods. According to the theory, the Barons of Hell are based on the 4 elder gods of Babylon: Anu, the god of heaven; Enlil, the god of air; Ki, or Nintu, the goddess of earth; and Enki, the god of water. It is fair to mention that there is no depiction of the elder gods of Babylon of being cyclops or having horns, 4 eyes, or long arms. Therefore, the design of the Evas cannot be based on any of those features. Also, from this list, only 3 of them are considered to be part of the Triad of Heaven, being Ki, a primordial being, a different group of deities. Therefore, they are not 4. We can safely disregard this theory. But then, where the Eva units got their design? Hideaki Anno himself explained that as follows, and I quote, "There's a monster in Japan called the Oni. He has 2 horns sticking out of his head, and the overall image of the Eva is based on that. I also wanted to give the impression that beneath this robot monster is not so much a robot, but a giant human." Anno explained that all Evas are based on Oni, a gigantic ogre-like creature with horns, sharp claws, and wild hair, part of the Japanese folklore. A very popular evil character that appears in works of art, literature, and theater. But what about the theory of the 4 Barons from Hell? The internet gave life to this theory in the late 90s, and even if it's way more interesting for Evangelion fans to fantasize with this theory, the fact is that Anno based their design and symbolism after a Japanese demon. And that, my friends, is the story of the 4 Barons from Hell. Hey guys, Mike here. I hope you enjoyed the video, which is the 3rd installment of my Evangelion series. If you haven't watched the previous video, you can find it here. If you did like the video and want to support the channel, smash that like button and subscribe so you won't miss out on the next installment. Thank you all for watching, and I expect a new video pretty soon.